weren't talking about the lesson. We were talking about something else.
Oh yeah. No, it was related to this, but we didn't cover anything from hair, right? At all. So I was meaning we were about to cover something, but we didn't. Is that what happened?
We left off at the head. How much of the head we target?
But there was nothing new covered, right?
No.
This was a new thing that was covered. Okay. Tathlith in wudu, doing wudu 3 times. So we were discussing what is the meaning of sunnah. That's what I was trying to get. That's where that discussion went. So you guys remember what was that discussion we had on sunnah last week?
Most people look at the definitions. Include the part.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear a single thing you said.
Sunnah is the prophets, the thoughts, like why, how do you do it?
What? Why? What are you saying, bro? What's sunnah? He's trying at least. Last week we didn't discuss. We were going to discuss this tathlith fil wudu, doing wudu 3 times, and then I wanted to make sure before you understand this, you understand what actually is sunnah. Sunnah is one.
Things that the Prophet approved of or did.
No, that's a hadith.
Past practice that we just followed. Practice.
At the end of it, it's a practice. Sometimes it's not a practice. Sometimes it's not like something something you follow. Of course, yes, we follow the Quran, we follow the Sunnah. What is the Sunnah? Close, yeah, but not necessarily.
What Prophet said, did, or approved.
That's a hadith. And you're looking that up from the discussion of Sunnah. That's from the hadith element. Not necessarily. That was the outcome of the Sunnah, is what he practiced.
Most Jahiliyyah period, they had some practices, and Prophet would get rid of the practice by doing something else. For example, wearing cloth like beyond the ankle.
You're just talking about what he did, right? That's where we all of you said last week something about practicing. Yaqub Yaqub, right? Yeah. Okay, his teachings, but no, not necessarily his teachings. He's teaching Islam. The Sunnah teaches Islam. But what is the Sunnah? The Quran also teaches Islam. You guys know what the Quran? What's the Quran? Yes, that's it. Simple as that. What's the Sunnah? No. Yeah, that's very close actually. The Sunnah is the explanation. Right? I mean, that's not the word. That's not what I explained last week. But essentially, if the Quran is the word of Allah, the Sunnah is the explanation to the word of Allah. How is that explanation demonstrated by the Prophet? All of you are just focusing on the end of the demonstration, which is him doing. But when the verse is read and is understood, you understand? You guys are just, or like the element of the deen is read by the Prophet, or it's understood by the Prophet, then it's executed. You guys are just focusing on the execution part, but not on how did he understand this? What is the philosophy of the Prophet on life in general? That's what Sunnah is. The way he executed that prophecy, that philosophy, I'm sorry. What was the philosophy? How was the philosophy of the Prophet when it comes to eating?
Eat from what's closest to you.
No. I mean, these are all executions.
You follow the sunnah, so whatever the commands that Allah given.
Commands are there, yeah, it's true. But there's no command of Allah that you should sit on the floor and eat.
What's he did from his fitr, from what he just stopped.
No, it was not all of his sunnah was natural. Some of it was, you're right, but Allah made him that way. For example, there's the sunnah in eating. The Prophet ﷺ there's multiple hadith telling us to not eat on certain elevations or while reclining, to not be arrogant. Meaning simplicity is a sunnah in eating. How that simplicity is demonstrated, the Prophet showed us a few ways. But that's not limitations. You understand? And that's not the only demonstration either. Simplicity could be something else. It could be beyond that. I mean, in eating, everyone eats pretty much the same. But the Prophet ﷺ, there's no issue in eating on a table. But the Prophet said, the kings or the other leaders in my era, that's how they eat. And I don't want to come off as that type of leader. I want to show that the leader that the Islam wants to develop is a simple man, right? Same thing in dressing. What's this? What is the sunnah in dressing? This is a better question. Eating might be again, and eating with your right hand, right? But that's a demonstration. What's the philosophy behind eating with your right hand? What's the sunnah behind eating with your right hand? Exactly. There should be dirty and clean should always be kept separate. Dirty and clean should always be kept separate. How else can you implement this? Dirty and clean things should be separated or no? So what's another way to implement this sunnah? If the philosophy is what is dirty should not mix and be consumed with that which is clean, then there's no limitation on it just in food, right? Also in preparing food, right? When we prepare food, if we're going to use two hands like women do or men, then that first left hand should be there should be a cleanliness process to it, right? What about clean clothes? Should dirty and clean clothes be mixed together? And we don't mean dirty like necessarily like najasa, right? But the sunnah would be that you dirty and this is separate. And there could be so many other examples. It's just it's the philosophy though. But yes, dirty and think that. What's another sunnah when it comes to eating? You said eat from what's in front of you, right? That's an execution. What's the sunnah behind that?
So you don't get into other people's.
No, just be grateful for what's in front of you. Just be grateful for what is in front of you. Don't rush. Don't rush. Don't rush. That's how you look at life. You might see things here. You might see things there. You might see things in the middle. Just relax. Just take as things come in front of you. It's the simplicity approach. Whatever is in front of me, I'll eat. That's it. Alhamdulillah. Right? Obviously, saying the name of Allah, that's an execution. But what's the thought process behind that? The dua after and before eating, these are executions of which sunnah? What's the philosophy? I just said it. What is it? Grateful. You think about the one who's providing you this. So, sunnah is that's what we need to understand. The executions are they will come natural. You know what I mean? What's wrong with you, bro? No sleep? You go to college or you're done? Who's going to college? Duke? You go to Duke?
Duke, I said Duke credit count.
No. Who's this? The sunnah? Waking up early, cleaning the teeth with the miswak, right? Sitting while drinking. Yes, mashallah. I don't know who you are, brother, but yeah, I believe in you. Thank you. So, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? So now, let me just get your minds wrapped up around this idea a little better. Okay, so you understand food, right? Food has a few sunnahs. Be grateful, be simple, be clean. So as long as I'm being grateful, I'm being simple, I'm being clean, then there's so many different ways to eat now, right? Then it doesn't come. It doesn't matter now that if it's spoon or hand, because spoon at one point represented arrogance or ungratefulness or unsimplicity. But right now, does it make anyone look sophisticated eating with a spoon? It's not a sign for that anymore. So that's how you know the sunnah. There's no sunnah in avoiding that spoon, right? By the way, I was in New York. Who's been to New York City? Oh gosh, yeah. Where did you go to New York City? The Brooklyn Bridge, and then you had ice cream at the end of it. Who lived in New York City for a little while? But by the way, he probably went with his parents, who were always like, "Stick with us."
Yeah.
Did you go to any masjid in New York?
Yeah, we went to a lot of Nigerians in there.
Yeah. Us New Yorkers, we have to really hold back before when we see an outsider, and then we're like, should we take advantage of him or not? I guess that's with any place that has scammers, right? But anyways, man, we were in New York, so we were eating in a masjid, and New York's masjids open up like you're on the block, and the masjid's just open. Like you can just see the person inside. It's like buildings, you know what I mean? You don't have to like go all the way in. And so we were. It was food time. We were eating with our hands, and the guy walked by, and he's like, "Oh man, y'all are barbaric. Y'all eating with your hands? Y'all eating with your hands?" He started tripping out. Oh my God, yo, these guys eating with their hands. We were like, yo, bro, relax. You know, so it I told a brother once, we were in Alim course. I don't want to take name of his ethnicity or anything of that nature, but rice, right? I don't think it's proven the Prophet ever ate rice. I don't, as far as I'm concerned, rice.
Yeah, that was a go-to.
A go-to. The bread is mentioned. All types of bread is mentioned.
I thought rice was
I don't. I could be mistaken. I'm almost 100% sure the Prophet never ate rice.
I don't think maybe because it's in Mecca.
You acting like it's like there's. You have to make excuses for him why he didn't eat rice. Oh, it's not in Makkah. It's alright, bro. It's like relax. He didn't eat rice. He didn't eat a kiwi either. Have you ever had a kiwi? You never had a kiwi?
You never had a kiwi? What?
I don't know.
Isn't that like a word or something? Y'all never had a kiwi?
All right. Anyways, all right, man. Simplicity. Good. Good. So, whoa, your kiwi threw me off, man. What was I saying?
The Prophet never ate rice.
No, you're talking about
Yes.
the guy in college. No, course.
Oh yes, good. So the Prophet never ate rice. So this man is eating rice. This kid is eating rice. He's in my class. And the way he's eating, he's like, you know, you're supposed to eat like this with 3 fingers. By the way, why do you eat with 3 fingers? Which sunnah of eating is that implementing? Yeah, I understand, brother. What sunnah of of eating is that incorporating? Why? What's this? Why is this? Besides Jalen Brunson, and we're gonna win. Huh? You're not getting it. Oh, you're saying he's doing it because of the 3 thing? No. That's a good thing to bring up. That's not why 3 is there. There's nothing magical in 3. Huh? Yeah, exactly. He could have been like, this is better, like scoop. Right? Like he could be like, boom. But why would the Prophet eat with these 3 fingers? Not these 3, but why would he eat with 3 fingers? You need the thumb, obviously. That's why. No, man. I just explained sunnahs of eating. Simplicity. What's simple in eating with 3 fingers versus 2 or 1?
Because
3 is like the first. 2 is
three's half your fingers.
Huh? What? No, so one thing is, like you mentioned, eating smaller bites was the execution of a sunnah. And what goes behind that is simplicity. At the same time, eating slow, being grateful, right? The Prophet's sunnah was to constantly say Alhamdulillah while he was eating, so being grateful, right? So this guy's not eating rice like this. He's making like pokeballs out of it, and then he's like, and then and his hands are just drowning, bro, in the salan and the rice, and he's going at it. I'm like, yo, bro, and I look at him. This is just out of fitra. I don't know anything yet. I'm in like my first year of Islam course. I was like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, bro, this is sunnah. I was like, bro, if I was the sunnah is supposed to be inviting to Islam. If I was not a Muslim and I saw that, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? And that's exactly it. You're like, oh, he's so focused on he ate with the hand. And obviously, outside of gratitude, outside of simplicity, outside of what was the other thing? Being clean, there's adab, right? The way the Prophet sat, it's to look humble. Obviously, there's adab this is also adab. You can take huge bites, or you can just take these ones and but there's an adab of what is that? Moderate. What am I looking for? Modesty, right? There's not extremes. There's an adab, right? There's a beauty. The Prophet's every sunnah has a beauty, the execution of it. There's no beauty in that. Look at you. It was wild. So when that brother, when he tripped out, I was like, okay, he's tripping out because number one, we're eating so fast. Like, by the way, like, so a normal person can't eat how fast we can eat with hands, right? So, and then by the way, a lot of people everyone who in America, have you ever seen anyone eat with their hands? You're lying. You see everyone eat with a pizza. You know what I mean? You've seen everyone eat wings. You've seen everyone eat wings. You've seen everyone eat a burger. You've seen everyone eat fries. Why is it that when it comes to something that they don't eat it at all, but you eat it. So when you eat it, you're like, it's supposed to be eaten with your hands versus a fork. But people go to the extent, man. The Prophet never ate rice, let alone with his hands. By the way, there's also hadith where he ate with utensils. People are eating, man, noodles with their hands. Ever seen someone eat noodles with their hands? Do you think that's sunnah? Oh my God. I don't know who that is, man, but even they agree that it's not sunnah. Think about it. How can that be sunnah? Does that look presentable, decent, anything? No. Every sunnah is supposed to be. So, getting and before I want to circle back, I want to make sure you guys. Let's get off food, man. Let's try a different topic. What's the? Yeah, why not with your hands on that too? Like, yeah, why not? Why don't who eats soup like that? Who drinks soup like that? Why you guys use a spoon?
I mean, can't you use your hands to like hold the bowl?
Well, can't you use your hands to hold a spoon? That's what I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you. You know what I mean? I agree with you. You know, there's different types of rice. You ever seen those like sticky Chinese rice? Those I could imagine eating with your hands in a simple way. But freaking biryani, which is flying, it's all scattered. You know what I mean? You know, noodles, Alfredo pasta. Imagine Mirza eating Alfredo pasta, wrapping it around his 3 fingers, and then just like one appetiting it. Was that how weird will that look? Is that inviting? No. Chopsticks, yeah, good. Chopsticks, yeah. Chopsticks actually implement a lot of the sunnahs. Yeah, you're taking smaller bites. It's clean. Clean is separate from that. And it's a culture. Yeah, there's nothing wrong eating with chopsticks. I've tried eating with chopsticks. It's pretty fun. It's pretty. Our muscle memory is not developed yet, so it takes a little while. Anyways, we gotta get off food. Like some. All right, guys. All right. So to understand, let's we discussed eating, right? I wanted to get clothing. What are some of the sunnahs in clothing? Before we get to this, you have to. This is why you have to. The tathlith. What does tathlith mean?
3.
Doing it 3 times in wudu. Tathlith is the execution of a sunnah. What is the sunnah? Is what I'm going to ask you over here. Doing wudu 3 times, washing each part 3 times, is an execution of one sunnah.
To make sure it's off.
What is that sunnah? To make sure it's washed? What if I mean, you can be, how many times, you can be sure you washed it once and be sure as well, right?
Never be too
Never be too sure.
sure.
What is the tathlith fulfills actually the objective of all sunnahs in general. But anyways, let's talk about, okay, what is the I'll give an example. What's the sunnah when it comes to facial hair?
You should grow it out.
That's an execution.
Look presentable.
Presentable is in a majority of the sunnahs that are related to attire, hair in general, right? Eating, they all have to be beautiful. They all have to be presentable. Look manly, yes, masculinity. Women also. I just said facial hair. I never said gender. So look manly.
Yeah, I take it back.
You take it back, yeah?
To distinguish us from like
Okay, that's good. That's good. To distinguish us from non-Muslims. But don't focus on the distinguishing part. Focus on the other part, which is what? The Muslim part, yeah. The facial hair has 2 sunnahs involved in it. Establishing gender identity and establishing religious identity. You guys understand? That is the sunnah in facial hair. Gender identity needs to be established. Hence, what is wajib for a man is exactly opposite as wajib for a woman. If a woman starts to grow facial hair, it is wajib for her to get it cut. Why are you tripping?
Never heard of it before, that's why.
You never heard of women having facial hair?
I didn't know it was watching.
Oh, so you think like they should just walk around looking with a mustache?
I didn't think it was watching.
So you didn't know that? I have a bunch of books. I should probably just have them open sometimes. There's a hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, and in the book of not Kitabul, I think it's Kitabul Athar. And at the end, she meant it's on facial hair. This is actually one of the. I don't want to talk. Never mind. I don't want to open a can of worms. So a woman comes to her to ask a fatwa, and then she says all facial hair on a woman's face are like adha. Adha is something that is like dirt, like dirty. It's like dirt and something unclean. It's not complete najas. It's like adha, right? Very similar to يسألونك عن المحيض قل هي. No, I'm tripping. قل هي. Adhan, right? It's that same word right there.
Adhan.
I'm not that good.
Wait, the word is adhan?
Yeah, adha, yeah.
Oh, adhan.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they're the same words. It means dirt, filth, dirty. So she said, it's all dirt, remove it.
wait, what's the word? Hamza, dal, nun.
No, there's no nun. It's yeah.
Oh, that, okay. So like you're doing
Yu'dhun, no.
you're
Yeah. Adha, harming, giving difficulty, giving a hard time to. It's dirt, yeah.
Oh,
Khair. So for women, the sunnah. So what is the sunnah when it comes to facial hair? I just said it. Give me the answer.
to establish the gender.
Did you say Bismillah? No, you didn't. No, I believe you. What's the sunnah in facial hair?
Establish gender and it's why to cut off.
Yeah, I think there's someone tripping in the chat about Jesus. Yeah, someone tripping in the chat about Jesus. Trust us, brother. I don't know who you are, but when Jesus, we're waiting for him more than you. The only difference is when he comes and he stands with us, you're gonna be shocked. We won't.
Let's go. So what's your gender?
What's my gender?
I said gender.
Damn, bro. Got a pretty big beard here too. It's where the class is going live. All right, guys. Hey, give me okay. So facial hair, you guys. So there's two sunnahs in facial hair. What is that? Establish your gender identity and establishing your faith-based identity, your religious identity. By the way, this class is not. This is on YouTube for you guys as a storage. You guys know that, right? Instead of taking up storage on your phone, just throw it on YouTube, free storage.
Yeah.
What's the name of the account?
Name of the account.
No, WhatsApp.
And the Jews asked him, "Are you the Messiah, the son of the living God?" And Jesus answered them, "Yes, I am." We believe that as well. He is the Messiah. We call him Isa ibn Maryam, right? What do we know? No, Masih ibn Maryam. Whoever denies the Son does not have the Father either, but whoever acknowledges the Son has the Father also. Amen. The Bible refers to all of us as the sons of God, and specifically David. So why take it literally in one place than the other, right? Spam. He's just spamming.
It's
a lot.
It's a bot, you think?
Obviously.
Listen, you guys need to focus on not on what's happening there. All right, okay. So this is the mentality I need you guys to start establishing when you look at things, right? Drinking with right hand versus drinking with left hand. Eating with right hand versus eating with left hand, which is worse?
Which is worse? Eating with left hand.
Eating with left hand, because which sunnah is directly being violated in both? You're eating and drinking with your left hand. In which is there a bigger violation? Now you wouldn't know that, because at the end of if you're just focused on execution, you're like they're both wrong. You're supposed to do with your right, but when you realize the objective in this is that if I'm eating what if eating directly with your fingers with your left hand is worse, or eating with a spoon with your left hand? Exactly. That's that same logic, same philosophy when it comes to this. You understand? Both are bad. Both have you violated a sunnah. However, which one you have really violated is when you were directly eating, consuming with, or you violated the sunnah of not separating between clean and dirty. Whereas in this, doesn't really violate that. You guys understand? Sitting down and eating is also, by the way, some sunnahs for eating, as we'll circle back, are related to like medical benefits, like licking your fingers. There's bacterial. That's for digestion, but we don't. We just do it, and obviously it's also for gratitude. Like you don't leave. Sitting down and eating. It's why do you sit down and eat versus stand and eat? No, there's a compression mechanism that's being applied to your stomach, because 1/3 of your stomach is, you're never supposed to eat to your full. That's a sunnah that we have all abandoned. Yeah. While you're literally eating after eating.
I'm not fully.
It's not about eating. Okay, so that's not. How much are you supposed to eat though? What's the sunnah of eating?
2/3.
1/3.
Oh yeah, 1/3 air, 1/3 water.
Yeah.
Not
So-
1/3 food.
How do you know what your thirds are?
His 1/3 is like equivalent to 2 people.
All right, so continuing, guys. All right, so let's come back to the topic. Tathlith fil wudu. Generally, the objective of a sunnah which is directly affiliated with a fard, right? Like 4 rakat sunnah before 4 rakat fard of dhuhr. Washing 3 times in wudu. What is the goal of the sunnah? And over here, Usman hinted towards it. The goal of the sunnah, what is it? So what's the goal of the 4 rakat before dhuhr? To make sure what? So tathlith fil wudu, 3 times washing in wudu. The goal is the completion and the conviction or the yaqeen that the completion of wudu was established. It's to make sure an obligation is completed with yaqeen. With what? Which so you who can also tell me where this 3 thing also comes in, where we use it for yaqeen. 3 gives us yaqeen. Washing our 3 times, like you said, you can never be too sure, right? That's actually true. We could go to 5, 6, 7, 8. So the Prophet says 3 gives you yaqeen. 3 you're sure. Where else does 3 give us yaqeen? You're wow, you're sure you ate? Come on, think.
Oh, when you're praying, salah with her.
No, come on. Look what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. Doing it 3 times will give you yaqeen, and that's a ruling, like wudu. It's also najasa, right? Washing it 3 times. We are told to wash najasa how many times?
3.
Right? Because 3 gives us yaqeen. After 3, don't worry what you see and what's there. Be sure, rest assured that this is clean. You understand? Wash, rinse, squeeze, and rinse, and really squeeze. That's it. Now you have yaqeen. 3 gave you yaqeen over there. So this is tathlith, doing something 3 times. When something is done 3 times in Islam, generally by the Prophet ﷺ, it's to, number 1, fulfill an obligation. Number 2, to give it yaqeen. Okay? Why would okay, give me another example. You guys either are really dumb or just lost. What's another example of the Prophet ﷺ that where he did something 3 times to give the other give yaqeen in something? He fed himself 3 times?
Repeated.
Yes, he repeated himself 3 times. He doesn't need to repeat himself even once. But he's saying something 3 times to give what? Certainty. Certainty. So, keeping that in mind, we will. So that means if you leave this 3, but you were submerged in a pool and you came out, did you really leave a sunnah? No, you didn't. You didn't. Your situation, no wudu in that case, or already there was no cause of concern for an obligation not being fulfilled. Everything is 100% washed if you submerged, came out of a pool. You understand? That's not the normal case. Normally you're dry and then you make yourself wet. But if you're already fully wet, then is there any objective of saying I'm gonna dive in the pool 3 times? People will do that and think they are acting on the sunnah, and it's a mockery of the sunnah actually. Yes.
If you go in the pool, you like have wisdom.
I think I've answered this like 10 times in the last 5 weeks. Every time I come and everyone asks this. Yes. If your all your body parts get wet. We discussed this in Nia, didn't we?
That's what he's talking about right now.
Oh, okay. Listen. We covered niyat, right? Intention. We covered intention already. We did, right? From the where's your notes? You weren't here for intention, actually.
Well, I thought it was last week we talked about.
Hey guys, the guys who covered intention, what did you guys write on intention? It's. I want to see. That's where we covered it. We did a. Wujub, well, yeah, the things of the thing. It was in the wajib discussion, right? Things wajib before wudu.
Yeah. Most scholars say intention is needed. Hanafi says it's valid without niyat, but no reward. The reason for it is whether wudu is independent virtue or dependent virtue.
Hey, Javed, what did he just say? Because that was pretty disrespectful. He's reading it for you. He already has it written down. You don't know, right? What he said? Please say it again, nice and loud.
Most scholars say that the intention for wudu is needed. Hanafi says that it's valid without niyyah, but there is no reward in it. The reason for the dispute is on the discussion whether a wudu is an independent virtue or a dependent virtue.
You have no idea what that means. So, to your question, every other scholar, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, and anything beyond Hanafi would say, no, you don't have wudu. unless you made intention. Hanafis do not require intention for the validity of wudu. Your wudu can be valid without intention. However, you will not receive reward for wudu without intention. Why? Because is wudu a dependent act of worship or is it an independent act of worship? Meaning, it's dependent. You do wudu to do something, right? You don't. The whole day, if someone's making wudu, are they rewarded? If they never do anything with that wudu, never pray salah, never touch Quran, never do tawaf, no. So, yes, you have wudu. Okay, Omar. You said I was in here for 5 weeks. Can you repeat that? I just repeated the entire thing. التثليث في الوضوء. Now since that we understand this. اتفق العلماء على أن الواجب من طهارة الأعضاء المغسولة هو مرة إذا أسبغ. All the scholars have reached consensus that thing which is wajib while washing the body parts, or in regards to washing the body parts of wudu, right? And that is to do it one by one and do it slowly and perfectly, right? Meaning if you just do it once, that's it. That is what needs to happen. You need to wash it once for wudu to be valid. Now there's multiple, due to multiple hadith reports, some scholars say 2 is sunnah and some say 3 is sunnah. Meaning now you have 2 hadith reports. Explicitly Bukhari Muslim hadith out there saying 2, 2, 2. And then other ones are saying 3, 3, 3. Knowing what you know now, which one would actually be more stronger? Why?
Because he just said.
Huh? The other ones are, well, it defeats that argument, right?
I mean, you could do 2, but like just do one more time to do it. Like you know you did it correctly.
No, you don't make judgment based off of doubt. That's a doubtful judgment. How would you know? How do we know? Think about it. The answer, I think you guys know it. Why would we take the 3 report over the 2 to say doing it twice is something rewarding, like it's mustahab, but doing it 3 times, that's the sunnah.
Because the Prophet did it.
Oh my God! The both reports say he did it twice in some scenarios. You weren't there. Did you see it? You have footage. So you have to understand how we're understanding he did it. Where the discussion is, what did he do?
Oh, was like the wudu like dependent?
No.
Everything else is always 3, so it just makes sense.
Yeah, there's other areas where we see that he's establishing the same thing concept, but doing it 3 times. He's establishing certainty in cleanliness with 3. He's establishing certainty in speech and message delivery with 3. So why would he do it less in wudu, where he's trying to establish certainty for tahara? So it makes more sense when we analyze his actuals. That's how you understand that's the sunnah then. Because there's a lot of other things he did just twice as well. So when you're like, oh, we can get examples of things he done twice. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of things he just did twice, right? Doing, like trimming his mustache just twice a week, for example, or once a week, twice a month. Twice a week he fasted. But that's not the purpose. Once you understand while he's doing these things, are the sunnahs aligning? That's when you understand the things that he did twice for, what was the reason for that? The things he did 3 times for, what was the reason for that? That reason, that philosophy is the sunnah. We have authentic reports. أنه صلى الله عليه وسلم توضأ مرة. He's performed wudu. The Sahaba have seen it, just washing things one time. And then وتوضأ مرتين. He has done wudu. The Sahaba have seen it where he just washed it twice. وتوضأ ثلاثا. He has done wudu. The Sahaba have seen it. He's done it 3 times. What is the Prophet doing while doing this? Sometimes he's washing it once. Sometimes he's washing it twice. Sometimes washing it 3 times. Why would he be just washing it once and abandoning this philosophy of getting yaqeen? Or that would be the assumption that he's abandoning.
To prove that, or like to show that you can
You can do it once.
twice.
Correct. That is one reasoning for just doing it, to show permissibility of the bare minimum. What else? And I gave you the answer to this in the submerging.
You're already wet.
Yeah, there could be scenarios where he's got a flood of water in front of him, a whole lot of water, where everyone knows when he washed it, he 100% washed everything. So yaqeen was already, achieved from once, right? All right. So, one issue that happens here. Let's see whose brain is good. What is the the fard in doing masah is what? What is the fard? What is the minimum obligation of masah? Mashur ras. And you should look at it, there's three major opinions. I know what wiping is. That's what masah means. What is the obligation of wiping?
Two or three touches, 2 or 3 hits.
No less than 3 drops of fall.
Listen, no. We established the fact that it's masah. I'm asking you the amount. How much of your head you're supposed to wipe?
How big your forehead is?
Entirety, Shafi says 2 or 3 hairs you touch, and Shafi said anywhere on the head, 1/4 of it, or 4 fingers.
1/4 of the size of your forehead. So those are the three opinions. 2 or 3 hairs, the whole head. Imam Malik says the whole head, and the Hanafis say 1/4 of the head. Okay, you guys understand that part? That's the difference. They all agree the sunnah is the whole head. However, wiping the whole head is sunnah once or 3 times. Why? Why was 3 left here?
Because there's gonna be more of a wash.
No,
Because you might have limited water.
that makes so. But it increases for feet all of a
Oh, when
sudden,
you
right?
wipe it once, like your hand dries. Like it's
No,
not
to use up
sufficient
all the
to-
water on your hands.
Oh.
To use all the water, these guys are crazy, bro.
I mean,
That's what I was last time.
Because
Well, Yaqub was thinking of something. He was deep in his bag too. Y'all cut him off. I want you to think. Let him try first.
Bro, we ate half the bag. We'll take it from.
Yaqub, you what was your answer?
I was gonna say something similar to
So something similar to them? Harun, you have no idea what's going on, right? We'll let Mirza take a crack.
because no matter how much you wipe, you can never have your thing that every hair touch with water.
No, you can.
You're in the same boat as us.
Okay, let me help you. What is the fard? What is the obligation? And that's the first thing I asked you. What is the obligation of wiping the head? 1/4, few hair, or whole head, right? Maliki say 3. Sunnah is still doing it 3 times. And the objective of the sunnah is what? What was the objective of the sunnah? To make sure to give yaqeen that the fard has been completed. So if only 3, if 1/4 of the head, Hanafi, right, is obligation to wash, to wipe, right? When I wipe my entire head 4/4, yaqeen is achieved. Why do I need to do it 3 times? In once the yaqeen is achieved. Same thing with Imam Shafi'i. If only few hairs, then once yaqeen is achieved. Imam Malik treats it like a whole different limb. If the entirety of the head needs to be wiped, that's when he. And by the way, the sunnah way of now wiping the head once is back and forth. It's you don't know that?
Go over it.
No, it's the sunnah is this and bringing it back.
Are you supposed to also like wipe your neck at the same time when you're going back?
No, you're supposed to then wipe inside of your ears and outside your ears.
What is the like part?
After that, then you do the neck, like whirling. Ah, that hurt. You got me ready for UFC tonight. That really hurt. It's probably this dude cursing me in the chat about Jesus.
Stay out of the live. We don't want you people.
No, we're coming to Hawaii, man. Aloha, aloha.
And Jesus said to them, "You belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's business." Masjid open and the Wi-Fi here has a
All right. All right, guys. Did you guys get that part? Okay, so I might have explained the madhahib wrong. Ouch. Imam, so wiping the head multiple times there's a difference of opinion if that's sunnah or not, okay? Imam, Hanafi say just wiping the head once completely, that's the sunnah. فذهب الشافعي إلى أنه من توضأ ثلاثا يمسح رأسه أيضا ثلاثا أكثر الفقهاء يرون أن المسح لا فضيلة في التكرار. Imam Shafi says if a person is doing a wudu in which he's not doing 1-1 or 2-2, rather doing 3-3, then he should do the same thing with the head. While I agree with the Hanafis that the objective of the sunnah is to just accomplish fard. However, because there's uniformity in the entire wudu happening for 3-3-3, Imam Shafi keeps it at 3. But it's not. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it like he agrees with. I don't know how to really explain it to you guys. He's just doing it for uniformity basis. Like it's just 3 the whole time for every part. So just keep it like that. We have a report for it as well. But majority of the scholars, they say no. The reason for the difference of opinion in this is because there are hadith that have been mentioned that the head was wiped a few times. The answer to that is وعضد الشافعي وجوب قبول هذه الزيادة بظاهر عموم ما روى عنه عليه الصلاة والسلام تغض مرة من المسلمين وذلك أنه المفهوم من العموم هذا اللفظ وإن كان من اللفظ الصحابي هو حمله على سائر أعضاء الوضوء إلا أن هذه الزيادة ليست في الصحيحين وإن صحت يجب المصير إليها لأن من سكت عن شيء ليس هو بحجة على من ذكره. وأكثر العلماء أوجب التجديد الماء لمسح الرأس قياسا على سائر الأعضاء. That's it. We can go to the next one. They're just talking about masah of the head. Imama, next masala. المسح على الإمامة. So you guys know how there's you do masah on the socks, right? There's an issue of if you have a turban on, can you what just happened?
Control Z, man. Control Z.
No, yeah, I know that. If you have a turban on, can you wipe over meaning can you replace the head with just the turban? No. Let's talk about it. There's a difference of opinion here. Yes. The scholar the answer for you to remember is no. Okay. But let's continue. What you guys want to know what's funny? The scholars who say yes, this can be done, also firmly say wearing a topi is not sunnah. It sounds crazy, right? Meaning, not wearing it, like they said your head should be naked. But they firmly say that you can make masah on your imamah. Not your mama, your imamah. Yes, go get some water, Harun. He's Yahya or he's Harun? Alright, so let's just go through. So it's mostly Hanbalis. Hanbalis allow this, while the majority of the Ummah does not. The reason for difference of opinion in this is a Sahabi saw the Prophet make masah, and he said, I saw him make masah on his imamah, meaning his turban, right? Now, the understanding that we have, or the majority of the Ummah, Shafi, Maliki, and Hanafis is, the Prophet just did this, and then the rest he did on his turban. And the Sahabi understood or interpreted that as he just did it on his turban. For Imam Shafi, there's no contradiction because he only says only a hair or two needs to be wet, anyways.
He completed like 1/4 of a second. then he
1/4, yeah, like so up to here. If I just do this, if this much incompleteness is an obligation, and half of my fingers touched hair and half have touched hair, that's already complete. Do you understand? Do you understand or no? So according to both Shafi'i and Hanbalis, ouch, this was done by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this such manner that the obligation was already completed.
How do they get that conclusion? Like if they have a hadith from Sahaba saying that he saw that.
Multiple reasons, because nobody else saw that. Why did he only see it? So we have to then say, we're not doubting what he saw, we're doubting how he understood what he saw. Not only that, we're probably not doubting that either. We're just doubting how it was reported. He's saying the Prophet made masa on his imama, right? If we were to take this literally, there would be so many other problematic problems. You know what I mean? Imam Abu Hanifa initially never accepted the hadith for khufain, masa on the khufain, until he said it came like broad daylight. So many Sahaba were reporting it. Socks, leather socks. He said that's when I understood that the verse of the Quran has a substitute. You understand? That's the problem. The Quran says wipe your head. And one report, right? Yeah, it's like, that's no way that's going to change the word of Allah. So we're going to keep everyone sane, we're going to keep everyone sincere, and we're going to say what he saw, either the wording is wrong, like not wrong, but the wording is misleading, or we say that's indeed what he's trying to say, but what he means, what he probably saw was this. What he probably saw was this. Right, and that's mentioned here. أنه عليه الصلاة والسلام مسح بناصيته وعلى الإمامة. That's the word. He wiped on his forelocks and his imama. The first portion of the hadith, we 100% know he didn't wipe on his forelocks. He didn't have, meaning his forehead. The first portion of these is the evidence for the Hanafis. That's the amount they're saying. Masaha binasiyah. He wiped on his he wiped with the amount of his forelocks. Wa al imama, and the rest was on the imama. Because nobody says the Prophet would do this or wipe his forehead. So the hadith also is giving a space for that type of interpretation. Yes. One second. There's hadith. So if you're wearing gloves, women cannot make masa on their niqab. If a woman is wearing hijab or niqab or whatever, she can't just say, there's hadith for it. There's hadith, you'll find singular, like one report like this, that it's okay over that. Let's say that was a real scenario. The Prophet gave a woman a permission that wipe over your hijab. What type of hijab must that have been? You guys seen those hijabs which if water would seep through? You know what I mean? The fabric is not going to hold this, huh? Something. Right? You know how some cloth is so thin that 100%, if you were to, it would go through. If that's the case, right, then you can do that.
Like the
Yeah.
compression shirt, like, what?
I don't know. A compression shirt. You understand? But so gloves, and there's likewise. So you cannot make masah on your imama. You cannot make masah on your hijab or niqab as well. Those things must be removed. By the way, does becoming naked break your wudu, or exposing your aura? If a woman's aura is her hair, also does that break your wudu? Yes. No. Exposing your aura or seeing someone else's aura does not break wudu. So if a woman, so here's the question. There's a girl, time of salah is running out. She only has an opportunity to make wudu there. She's wearing hijab and everything. Should she make salah qada because she's like, I need to stay in hijab, otherwise people will see me while I make wudu? Or should she make wudu and expose herself out of hijab in that moment? Yes, the bigger sin is not hijab. The bigger sin is leaving salah. No, that's even a bigger sin. I'll tell you why. When was hijab mandated? Much after salah. So there are multiple salahs that the sahabiyat performed already with just modesty, right? Um, and that's she has to pray salah. Her modesty, I guess, will never override that obligation of submission to Allah. And by the way, how long will it be for? She's wiping. Like it's just a few seconds. If she does need to take the hijab off to do that, or she can put her hand inside. But let's say she needs to take it off. Okay, that means her embarrassment is not. It's worse. Her embarrassment of the way she looks is not a valid excuse to miss wudu. Why? Why? There's water. And there's no reason for her not to. So you do tayammum either when there's no access to water or access to water, but reaching it is dangerous. Meaning either dangerous for you because of a sickness or because of an enemy or an animal. Why can she not make wudu?
Because she doesn't want to.
Yeah, it's all nafs. Oh, I don't want to.
The uncles in the mashar and kick her out.
There's enough aunties out there to support her back. Okay, we'll do one more. Masa on the ears. اختلفوا في مسح الأذنين هل هو سنة أو فرض. There's the difference of opinion in wiping the ears is it fard or is it sunnah even? Meaning some scholars who would consider wiping the ears fard. Let's see whose brain works here. Okay, don't tell me who by label. Who by like what do you think they're thinking? The difference is some people say wiping the ears is sunnah, some say fard. Why do you think this difference of opinion occurred? What do you think is the cause of the debate?
Get your whole face.
Huh?
Get your whole face and everything. Like they count it as their face.
Yes, nail in the coffin. Either or the head. Rather the head, because otherwise the discussion is wiping the ears. So the discussion is this part of the head? Or is this part of the face? Or what's going on here? Is this part of usually it's part of the head, right? If you think about it from boxing perspective, you cover this much or you cover all your head. Right? So what am I doing? So that's the discussion. Is it part of the head or is it not part of the head? If it is part of the head, then it's fard to wipe. And if it's not, then it's not. We know the answer from so let's do backtracking, reverse engineering. Wiping the ears is fard or sunnah? From what you learned? Sunnah. So then we know, then what also do you know now that what we're saying? It is not? It is not part of the head. Do you wipe the face or do you wipe the head, dummy? Yeah. If it was part of the face, you would be washing it, right? Right. So we know that. So make sure you keep that in mind. I could tell you who says who says it's far to wash it. Some Malikis. What? Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it. Some Malikis say that. That's about it. That's he's just bringing. By the way, the reason he's gonna bring a lot of these things about Malikis is the author is Maliki of this book. Yes. وأصل اختلافهم في كون مسحهما سنة فاختلاف في الآثار الوارد عن مسحه على صلى الله عليه وسلم وذنه. Okay, the next question is, and this is where they kind of now the people who say it is part of the head, they're gonna start clapping back. When we wipe our head, do we wash our hands again, or do we renew the water before wiping the ears, or we just go straight into wiping the ears? My entire fingers inside has been used for the head body part. that means it's already used water now. Can you use used water for wudu? No. You have to have, but we still carry it onto the ears, and this is where they come, those Malikis, and they come say, why didn't you renew that? If you agree that this is not part of the head, that means the masa was already done and completed when you did it with your head, correct? You need new water to say this is a new masa. Because you can't use used water, correct?
I thought it was only 3 fingers.
No, the whole 3 fingers, the whole thing is used. Oh, yeah. That's the answer. Hold on, calm down. Right? That's their objection. And we say, yes, you are right. But at the same time, that's not how we teach to do it. We teach to do it while these 2 fingers will not touch the head. You understand? And that's what the Hanafis say, that if these 2 fingers do touch the head, then you should take new water for it. It's actually one of those moments where they got us in the corner and they just boom, 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 and we're trying, we're just getting hit. Really, that's what's happening. And so we came up with this way. What do you think their next objection to this is? Yeah, where are you getting this from? How did the Prophet and the Sahaba wipe their head when they wiped it in entirety? Like you're saying, if this was the case, this would be pretty evident and reported. What's natural is they just, that's what it is. So it's a weak point. It's a weak point. So it's a weak point. That's why if you just wipe it and you do it even with one flow, right? Even with one flow, it's one of those discussions where it's not that big of a deal because, okay, let's say Malikis, you are right, then we did wipe it. And let's say you're wrong and we are right, but we already used the water for our head but we don't need to wipe it. So it's not really messing up an issue for us either ways. You understand? I hope you guys understood. I don't think you guys are understanding Jack. We'll end here. Legs? Legs? You want to wash legs? This is, by the way, what's going to be the same issue here? Who's smart? What is the verse? وَأَرْجُلَكُمْ إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. It's the same thing. Are ankles included or they're not? And the same thing. There's a majority says yes because it's from the